Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Judd, the founder, co-founder, and program director of Songwriting with Soldiers. Welcome to our Creatively Strong interview today. Our special guest is Bonnie Bishop. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
So happy to have you with us.
Thanks, Mary. It's so good to see you. I miss you.
I miss you too. I miss everybody in our amazing community. And for those of you watching who don't know about Songwriting with Soldiers, if this might be your first introduction to us, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're based in Nashville, Tennessee. We hold retreats and special workshops and online offerings around the country. We pair professional songwriters with military families, active duty veterans, special forces, in order to help them turn their stories into song. So Bonnie has been a big part of our organization, our mission to use this collaborative songwriting to build creativity, connections, and strengths. And we feel like Bonnie exemplifies that, as well as just about anybody we know. Excited to talk with her today about her work with Songwriting with Soldiers and how she's staying creatively strong during these challenging times. And for those of you who would like to learn more about our organization, hear more of our music, our stories, see some videos from our events, go to songwritingwithsoldiers.org. You can watch our videos on YouTube. You can learn more about the program, and you can contact us if you'd like more information. So now we'll dive in and we'll talk to Ms. Bonnie Bishop. Bonnie, you have been to 4 retreats, I believe, at least, and written several songs. One of them has made its way out to a lot of people, and we'd love to have you introduce that song and maybe sing it for us.
Yeah, I'd love to. This song was written with parents of a Gold Star. It was a Gold Star family, and they had lost their son in, I believe it was about a little over a decade ago. And they brought me a picture of him, and they told me so much about him. And I was really overwhelmed because he was such a heroic person. And you know, that was one of those days that I really felt like this sense of, oh my God, I just want to do a good job for these people. I want to write them a great song. And I just was so overwhelmed with the actual story. So as you remember, I called you and I sent you an SOS text, and I was like, it's too big. It's too big. And Mary came in there, and one of the main things they talked about was that their son had a nickname, which was the Lion of Fallujah. And I told Mary the whole story, and I just was like, it's just so incredible. I just don't even know where to start. Like, what rhymes with Fallujah? And Mary said, Luja. And it just kind of clicked into my head, that and the other rhyme. And then everything else in the song were things that their son had lived by. It was his code of life. And so this is called the Lion of Fallujah. He said, be brave, be humble, be a good friend. Fight for something you really believe in. Be mental, serve your country, conquer your fears. Always keep your word, be the tip of the spear. Oh, my son, never gonna lose you. You're forever in our hearts, the Lion of Fallujah. Oh. Oh, you stood on the edge, didn't want to take up space. You made Swayze's leap with a smile on your face. you died defending your men. You lived up to your name, Warhammer till the end. Oh, my son, I'm never gonna lose you. Forever in our hearts, Lion of Fallujah. I hear the angel singing hallelujah. Heaven, open your gates for the Lion of Fallujah. Yeah. Oh, my son, we're never gonna lose you. You're forever in our hearts, Lion of Fallujah. Oh, and I hear the angel singing hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah, Lord. Heaven, open your gates for the Lion of Fallujah. Heaven, open your gates for the Lion of Fallujah. Oh, heaven, open your gates for the Lion of Fallujah. Oh.
Woo! Oh, Bonnie, that song.
Couldn't have gotten there without you.
Oh. Lucky me to be sitting in that seat next to you. That song, though, as you know, has affected so many people.
It has.
You nailed it. It's
amazing.
Beautiful. And those parents, I know that just like, it doesn't get much better than a gift like that.
It's really special to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing that Songwriting with Soldiers taught me. And I knew it as a concept, but I didn't have any way to use my songwriting gifts in a way that was really about other people. You know, like in our industry, it's just very easy to get caught up in, you know, trying to get somewhere with your career and trying to market things and market yourself and write songs that people are going to like and write songs that are going to sell. And it's just helped me turn a corner in my life permanently, to write. You know, if I don't write for money anymore. You know what I mean? I don't write because I want to write a hit. I need to write because it's something real, you know? And I think I was trying to do that before Songwriting with Soldiers, but that opportunity is so unique because it's somebody else's story 100%, you know? And the fact that, you know, I don't have a lot of ways that I feel like I can give back to veterans and to the military. Like I don't, you know, that's given me a way to connect and to really show my heart and my appreciation for what they do, you know? And it bonds you to people. You know, I still talk to those parents. I still talk to pretty much everybody that I've written a song with through Songwriting with Soldiers. So.
Well, I know that your ability to listen so well, and you bring it all when you're there. You're just like, you're so open. How do you, is that something that you have to kind of prep yourself for, to gear yourself up for it? Does it ever feel heavy? You know, like a lot of weight to take on, and how do you deal with that to get the out that you want to and need to?
Well, I feel like I live in a pretty deep headspace. all the time. So it's not hard to go deep. It's not hard for me to take on other people's pain, which is kind of what I feel happens when you write a song with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking on their story. You have to get inside of it and understand it so that you can express it in words, and that gets heavy sometimes with songwriting with soldiers. Like, for instance, my last retreat, something that somebody told me, an image that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say I wish he hadn't said it, because they need to unburden.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're there, and the idea is to unburden onto the page. And I'm a big believer in songwriting and creativity for that reason, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a healthy way to unburden ourselves from heavy emotions. If we don't unburden ourselves from those emotions, addictions happen. People get caught into toxic relationships and toxic behaviors because they don't have healthy outlets. So, but when I leave there, I have to do some self-nurturing, and you taught me that the very first time. I was like, what? I don't even know. I don't feel anything. And then I got home and I was just like, I was thinking about all those stories. And I think another emotion that follows me home from those retreats is how courageous those people are, and how I look at all the things in my life that I worry about and I dramatize, and it seems petty in comparison. And so the heaviness when I come back is dealing with, I think, my own self and reflection against what somebody else's life looks like. It takes you into somebody else's life in a very intimate way. And their lives are lived in a certain way so that my life can be lived in a certain way. That's what that's the whole thing. It's like they're out there doing a job that allows me to live in a country where I'm free to express myself, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, when I come home, I usually take the first day off. I take a hot bath. I read, I walk, I make soup, all the things that I do. If I have a broken heart, I do all the same things. I journal, I read, I exercise, I take a bath, I eat well, it's kind of just a full care routine.
Which is so good to hear right now, because people, whether we're doing something, like you said, that is so rewarding and engaging, using all your strengths and your talents and in service of others, it's also so important to know what fuels us when times are hard, and what to go to that boosts us. And that's why we talk about that a lot at our retreats, and we do the creativity workshops and the nice meditation, and a really good taking good care of yourself in all areas. Mm-hmm. So you being 18 years making your living writing songs.
Yeah, I guess I can't count this last year. It would have been 19, but we weren't really doing it this year. Yeah.
You've been pretty busy, Bonnie. We've seen you.
I've stayed busy.
Creative juices are flowing.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about, is for what fuels your tank. You mentioned a couple things, and how do you stay strong during this time? How do you stay creative? Because it can be easy to feel like, what am I doing this for? Yeah. When you're isolated, or times are really hard for a lot of people. How do you keep yourself going? What do you do?
Well, I would say this, the first thing I did when everything stopped, meaning my career and music in general, is I focused on another creative project that I've always had on the back burner, which is writing a book. And I grew up in a football family. My stepdad was a very successful college football coach and has an incredible story, and part of our family story, a huge part of our family story. So I've always wanted to write that down. So I threw myself into a creative project, a big one that it won't be finished, in 6 months. It's, but so that's something that I do to stay creative is have creative projects, and it keeps me sane, because there's so little we can do about so many things that are happening in the world right now. But you can do things for yourself and in your corner of the world. And I believe that when we continue to grow in our individual selves, we influence the people around us, and those corners shed light. And, that's, everybody doing their own part is how we evolve as a species, as human beings. And so I stay creative to keep challenging myself. Now I run out of steam. I've been writing that book 8 to 10 hours a day since March. And I went back to grad school this summer online. So I'm getting my master's degree in creative writing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge. Here's another challenge. I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to keep doing this. So creating new challenges, investing in creative projects. But when you lose steam for all the good things that you're doing in your life, then it's like, well, what do I do? How do you feel well, right? Because I have an amazing story. It's all in my brain, and I've done research. It's not like I can't tell the story. I have all the facts. But my inner child doesn't want to sit at a desk and work all day. It's right. It's like if you had a real 5-year-old in your office, you can't just keep sending her to her desk to do her work or to do positive things for herself. It's like at some point she just needs to play.
Yeah.
And we're like that too. So, things I have done during COVID to keep my well filled is I live in a really beautiful part of Texas. So I get in the car sometimes and I drive. And I listen to music and I bring my journal and I stop whenever I feel like it. A lot of things weren't open this year. But some things were, found little food trucks and stuff that I'd never tried, found rivers that I'd never sat next to. I learned about Texas history with Native Americans, and I ordered some nonfiction books and read about that. And then I visited places where those things had happened and stumbled upon cool old cemeteries where I found, people that I had been reading about. So I do little day trips like that. I got way back into reading. I love to read, but just being on the road, I just never had a lot of time to do these fun projects. So, gosh, I've read a bunch of books. I've ordered a lot of nonfiction books. My next one that I'm going to take on is the Odyssey. I really want to read the Odyssey. Never read it. I cook a lot. I love to cook. And so I moved out to the country this year to a little town. It's about 1,850 people. It's an hour outside of Austin, an hour outside of San Antonio. And since I live in the country now, I was like, well, I guess I need to learn to make pie. Like with all my neighbors, I'll make pie. So I taught myself how to make pie crust. And that was like a big thing. I did that for like 3 months. I made pie crusts from scratch and I brought my friends pies and so like I got into cooking, and then this has been an interesting, the two things that have developed out of me just trying to fill up my own well have been, in order to stay accountable to my own creative project, I started an online class, a 12-week workshop with 11 other students who are trying to push themselves creatively. So we're going through the Artist's Way, which is a 12 course. So we're doing that together online. And I found that like pouring out what I know about the music business and my experience and what I know about songwriting is also filling my tank. It's so interesting, right? I'm emptying myself of something that I have to give. And I have 11 people that are here to receive it. And so I'm loving like investing in those people who want to be better artists or better songwriters. Some of them are already professional songwriters. Some of them have never written a song in their lives and they want to. So you have all these different people, and I'm, pouring into them is giving me a lot of joy and teaching them what I know. Yeah. And then the last thing that has happened is I've accidentally started a very small catering company in the last 2 weeks. In my love for cooking over the years, I've learned how to make bone broth. And bone broth is really good for people that are sick. And so I had family members and friends who were getting COVID, so I would make them bone broth. And it's about a 2-day process, so it's a pretty big deal. And then I started packaging it. And one of my friends was like, after she got better, she wanted to keep having her bone broth. So she was like, I found 6 people who will buy your bone broth. And we can start you a little business. So now I'm making about 6 gallons of bone broth a week. And I'm packaging it. And I've created little labels that say Bonnie B's bone broth. And and I
Oh, I love it.
people come and buy it off my front porch. So it's like, so I've actually like created 2 businesses on accident just by being myself. I've got 11 students.
Yeah.
You know, I'm teaching online, and I have a
Mhm.
tiny, small catering business going. So, like, you just never know, you know, where those creative
Right.
lead. And that's just me being myself.
Mhm.
You know, and for years in Nashville, you know, I lived in Nashville for a decade, and I was trying to get the big record deal and end up on a bus and all this stuff. And, you know, that is a part of me too. You know, I have those dreams. They'll probably never go away. But I feel like what I'm doing right now, it's 100% authentic, and it's not me trying to be what anybody else wants me to be, or
Right.
even like really trying to like make myself more marketable. It's me just like, hey, here I am. This is what I look like every day, right? I'm in
Mhm.
a tank top, I'm in a hat. This is my house, and you know, I'm just doing everything from my home, and I feel very good about myself right now. And so it's just a natural reflection of me. And I think that's the gift of creativity. You know, when you pour into your own creativity, you become more who you are.
Mhm.
And that's what everybody, that's how we all grow, you know, is becoming more of who we are. So.
Oh, congratulations, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a productive pandemic.
I see all these memes where people are like, I hate people that have like done so much with their time during this pandemic, and then they'll like be, you know, show a joke of like wearing a leotard and like dancing outside with, you know, a lightsaber. Like, that's okay to do that with your time too. I do that sometimes too. That's part of the play
Mhm.
aspect of creativity. It's just, you know, being silly and having fun. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to remember to have fun and be youthful at a time like this when everything's so heavy and serious. And I think that's why it's more important than ever to find those outlets where you can play and feel
Oh,
like a kid.
I'll plug this book. I should get commission for this, but this book is so good.
Oh, John, please. Okay. On
Yes.
Cool.
Well, and the reason I was talking about it with somebody else today, but there's so many good little tips in here. And for those of you who don't know John Cleese, Monty Python, one of the founders of Monty Python, and he's brilliant. And he talks about being in law school, and then the fun people to hang out with were all these people who were in drama, and he just started hanging out with them. And long story short, the power of play, and it's so important to just put our brains somewhere else, and then so often the ideas start coming in. Just being open to it, and I love hearing what you've been able to do, Bonnie. And a lot of people on here know about the strengths that I'm always talking about, the strengths survey. And I remember you taking it a while back, and just listening to you, what you're working on and what you're doing, you're feeding your top strengths. And
remember how depressed I was? I was like, oh, I took this and I realized I'm not a leader, and I always thought I was a leader.
It's like, you might be a leader. You lead through your top strengths a different way. But you talked about creativity. You talked about love of learning. You're feeding your love of learning. You're feeding your kindness and generosity, your zest. You're having so much fun. But you light up when you're talking like this, Bonnie. And as you said earlier, that affects other people. Yeah. And you just continually inspire, and you lift other people by being beautiful Bonnie Bishop.
Thanks, Mary.
And I know that you probably have been up to you've been writing, you've been singing. Do you want to share another Bonnie Bishop song?
Yeah, sure. This is not a new song, but this song, everything that I put on my last album that came out seemed to be like preparation for the skills that we all need to survive a pandemic. So this is one of them. It's called Keep On Moving. When the valley gets a little too dark at night, rhythm is threatening to rise. Keep on moving. When the wind on the mountains blowing strong, best not to tear it too long. Just keep on moving. When you feel your heart burning up, the smoke it's in your eyes. Mother Nature and Father Time singing all the signs. Keep on moving. Oh, won't you lighten my load, Lord? I know life's a long, long road. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. There'll be times when you're up and your heart can shine. Times when you're full of doubt, but baby, keep on moving. There'll be times when you're stuck and holding still. Times you just find the will. Keep on moving. Sometimes the hardest part is letting go and saying, babe, I wish you had. When the ones you love don't love themselves, you still gotta love yourself. Keep on moving. Heaven knows this life's a long, long road. Oh, won't you lighten my load? Heaven knows life's a long, long road. Oh, keep on, keep on. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Yeah, just keep on moving. Yeah, just keep on moving. Keep on moving. Just keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah, girl.
I love that song. Keep on moving. We're going to keep on moving. Hope to see you again soon. We're going to get these retreats back in motion. We're all getting on the other side of this pandemic. But in the meantime, staying creative. Thank you for the tips.
Yeah, thank y'all for letting me share, and just encourage everyone to, take that one little step, whether it's putting your feelings on a page or picking up a coloring book or going for a walk, anything, the very next best good thing you can do for yourself. Like, that's how we take it, one day at a time.
That's right. One step, one little thing. What's one little thing? Keep on moving.
Keep on moving, y'all.
We'll play that song. You get in a rut, play that song.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thanks for having me. I love you guys.
Everybody check in. Keep tuning in to Songwriting with Soldiers on Facebook. See what's coming up. We've got a lineup coming up in March. In February. We have a month in between now and March, right? February, we've got some special guests coming up. Keep tuning in. We've got Rocco Bellick, the director of Happy, in an upcoming new documentary called Trust Me. We have Bessel van der Kolk, the author of The Body Keeps the Score, preeminent trauma therapist coming up. James Monk, one of our, yes, there we go. March 11th, tune in for him. Send your questions. We're hoping to get James Monk, one of our very own Songwriting with Soldiers veterans, who was a combat videographer who travels around the world making videos of people from the Maasai warriors to all sorts of interesting. I'll let James tell you about it. But keep tuning in. Listen to the songs on Songwriting with Soldiers website. Hear the stories behind them, and just keep scattering the seeds. Bonnie Bishop, thank you so much for all that you do for so many of us.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for what y'all are doing for us. It's so much. It's a lot of work, and you inspire the songwriters as much as you inspire the veterans. So thank you.
Bye, Bonnie.